"We don't serve people like you here," the waitress said flatly, her eyes briefly dropping to the old man's prosthetic leg. Her voice was cold, sharp, and unapologetic. Ray Collins stood silently, leaning on his worn wooden cane. His hand trembled, not from weakness, but from something deeper, the kind of shake that comes when dignity is stripped from someone who gave everything. The chatter in Millie's diner died instantly. Forks froze mid-air, coffee cups paused mid-sip. A few customers exchanged glances. Some looked away, pretending they hadn't heard. No one said a word in his defense. Ray didn't protest. He just lowered his gaze, took a slow breath, and turned. A small, crumpled $5 bill fell from his hand onto the table. Then, without a word, he limped toward the exit. Outside, the air was thick with the smell of coming rain. He stood there for a moment, blinking against the sting in his eyes. It wasn't the weather. It was something heavier. Betrayal. 24 hours later, the first black SUV pulled up in front of Millie's diner. And with it began a day the town would never forget. Ray Collins was 74, a former Marine, a man of quiet strength. In 2005, during a mission in Iraq, he lost his left leg. He came home a changed man, missing a limb, but not his soul. Since then, Ray had lived alone in a rusting trailer on the outskirts of town. It wasn't much, but it was his. He had no wife, no children, just memories and a rigid daily routine that gave him purpose. Every morning, rain or shine, he walked nearly 2 miles to Millie's diner. Not for the food, it was average at best, but for the familiarity, the window seat, the people, the peace. On his way, he'd stop to pick up litter in the park, help little kids fix their chains when their bikes broke, deliver letters to elderly neighbors who couldn't get to the mailbox. He was a fixture in the community, not flashy, just steady, just kind. But that day, everything changed. Ray had greeted a few familiar faces when he walked in, a couple of nods, a few polite smiles, but the waitress was new, young, maybe in her 20s, blonde hair, neat uniform, eyes like glass. She scanned him from head to toe, frowned. "You can't sit here," she said bluntly. "We don't serve people like you." Silence, the kind of silence that screams. "I just want some coffee," Ray said quietly. "Out, now," she snapped, her arms crossed. He stood there for a moment, searching the room for a flicker of humanity, but everyone remained silent. He didn't cause a scene. He simply left his money on the table and limped away. From the corner, someone chuckled. Ray heard it. He didn't flinch. He just furrowed his brow and pushed the door open. Outside, the sky was dark with clouds. The same storm was brewing in his chest. He had stared down insurgents and enemy fire, but this cut deeper. This was home, and home had turned its back. A group of teens on skateboards zoomed past him on the sidewalk. One nearly clipped him. "Watch it, Grandpa," the boy called over his shoulder, laughing. Ray didn't respond. He caught himself on a lamppost and stood still for a long time, breathing, steadying. The town had changed. Or maybe, he thought, it had always been like this, and he'd just been too busy serving to notice. Through the diner window, he could still see people eating, talking, scrolling their phones. A world he had once fought to protect now pretended he didn't exist. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A strange occurrence. He rarely got messages. He checked the screen. No caller ID, just a text. "Report received. Stand by." Ray frowned. He hadn't reported anything. Had he? The sky rumbled as thunder rolled in the distance. The walk home felt longer than usual, every step a reminder of what he'd given. The uniform was gone, but the discipline remained. Head up, shoulders back, left, right, left. And yet, that night, for the first time in years, Ray's eyes glistened, not from pain, not from pride, but from something unspoken. Back in his trailer, the rain began to fall, soft at first, then harder. He took off his damp coat and hung it by the door. washed his hands, glanced at the photo on the wall. His team, Bravo team, SEALs, years ago, strong, unbreakable, family. On the table sat his leather-bound journal, worn and weathered. Our Bravo team was embossed on the cover in faded gold. He didn't call anyone, didn't post online. He simply opened the journal and scribbled down what had happened. Millie's, refused service, no explanation, no resistance, no defense. Later that evening, he drank tea alone in the dim light. Jazz played softly on the radio. The announcer's voice interrupted. Tomorrow marks the 15th anniversary of Operation Sandstone. Ray clicked it off. That was a memory that didn't need repeating. Some things were better left in silence. The cat, Captain, wandered in, rubbing against his leg. He reached down, petting the feline gently. "It's okay, buddy," he whispered. "Some people just forget." The next morning, Millie's Diner opened at 6 a.m. as usual. By 6:15, a black SUV pulled in, followed by two pickups, each bearing Navy SEAL Brotherhood decals. They stepped out, broad shoulders, disciplined posture, crew cuts. At their front was Chief Marcus Hale, Ray's old commander, now CEO of a major private security firm. The doors to the diner swung open. They didn't say much. They didn't have to. Their presence said everything. Chief Hale placed a photograph and a military medal on Ray's old table. In the photo, Ray Collins, front and center of Bravo team. The caption, "He saved all of us." Chief's voice was calm but ironclad. "This man came here yesterday. You turned him away." The waitress was frozen, pale. I didn't know. I thought—" "Now you do," Chief replied. They ordered a full breakfast, pancakes, eggs, bacon, and they paid using the money Ray had left in tips over 5 years. Gradually, other patrons stood up, one by one. "He rescued my grandson from a burning car," said an old man. "He brought us blankets during that blackout last year," added another. "He's the one who puts flags on all the veterans' graves every Memorial Day," whispered a woman from the corner. "Always before sunrise. Never says a word." The owner came out from the back, visibly shaken. "I wasn't here yesterday. I had no idea." "Maybe know who works for you," Chief replied quietly. "That man's blood is on battlefields you'll never see." A younger SEAL cut in, calm but firm. "He gave his leg so you could judge people freely." As the group prepared to leave, Chief Hale turned back one last time. "Heroes don't ask to be remembered," he said, "but we never forget." Outside, townspeople had gathered. Word had spread fast. Embarrassment hung in the air like smoke. Many were ashamed, some just silent, reflecting. Chief Hale made a quiet call. "Mission briefing complete, proceeding to Phase 2. A young SEAL asked, "Will he accept it, sir?" "You know how stubborn he is," Chief allowed a rare smile. "It's not charity, son. It's back pay." Back at his trailer, Ray sat in his rocking chair, journal in hand. A little girl rode up on a bicycle. She hopped off and approached, holding a paper coffee cup. "Mom said to thank you. I don't know why, but thank you, sir." Ray accepted the cup with a quiet nod. His lips curved into a faint smile. His eyes softened. Later that afternoon, the rumble of vehicles broke the silence. 3 cars, familiar postures. Chief Hale stepped forward. No salute, no orders, just a warm, steady embrace. "We've got a situation, Rye," he said. "Need your expertise." Ray glanced at his journal, then at the men. Brothers. "Mission parameters?" he asked, his voice steadier than it had been in years. "Rebuild. Restore. Remind," Chief replied. For the first time since yesterday, Ray Collins smiled fully. The camera lingers on the Bravo team photo on the wall, then slowly shifts to the American flag outside, fluttering gently in the breeze. Final message. Some never ask to be remembered, but we owe them our deepest respect. Subscribe to Ironheart Stories, because some heroes never stop serving.